Hello everyone, we've got another busy week ahead of us in Destiny 2. Lots of things happening tomorrow, both on the content side and the update side of things. So as I like to do with these videos, I'm just going to cram in all of the news that I can that's come out over the last week, so that you are up to speed on everything as we approach the spookiest time of the year. We'll start by covering the new content arriving tomorrow, and then talk about patch notes, bug fixes, big changes, and more. Tomorrow is Tuesday the 29th, which brings us a bunch of new activities into the game. First up, we've got the Xenophage exotic questline, which is a Shadowkeep exotic, so you've got to own the DLC to partake in that quest. We're also getting the new dungeon beneath the Scarlet Keep. I am super stoked for that. And we're also getting a new PvP mode called Momentum Control, which we'll discuss further in a bit. And finally, Festival of the Lost makes its return to the game, lasting for 3 full weeks up until Vex Offensive Final Assault on the 19th of November, so plenty of time to play Festival of the Lost and get some runs completed in the Haunted Forest. While we're on the topic of new stuff, let's go over how Momentum Control is going to work. We're all familiar with Mayhem, right? It's all about focusing on your super. Momentum Control, however, is the opposite. It's all about the lethality of your weapons, so here's a breakdown of the specifics. Momentum Control has instant respawn times, all weapon damage is greatly increased, all ability regen is impaired, and you're going to have to defeat enemy players to charge your melee grenade and super. There is no tracker, zones capture faster and grant more bonus points per kill, super damage resistance is increased, and heavy ammo respawn rates and drop amounts are increased. Bungie said, quote, "Many of us who have been play testing this have compared it to the classic Halo custom game SWAT, but for Destiny. Momentum will be featured as the 6v6 rotating playlist during Festival of the Lost, and we'll be monitoring the community's response to see when we want to bring it back. Depending on how lethal weapons will be, this could be an excellent mode to farm your scout rifle kills in for Randy's throwing knife. Honestly, the most difficult part of the quest for me is just getting those final blows with scouts. It seems like I always get assists and can never finish players off. So hopefully a SWAT-like mode is going to allow me to get 1 or 2 taps with pretty much any scout." Festival of the Lost starts tomorrow and is available to all players, including those with new light. You just have to be 770 power minimum to be able to participate. The Haunted Forest returns, where you race through a darkened version of the Infinite Forest with 15 minutes to kill as many terrors as you can. They used to be called nightmares, but you can see why that'd be confusing now. There's a match-made version and a non-match-made version, both at 750 power, and once you unlock access to the Haunted Forest from the intro quest, you can start earning chocolate strange coins, as well as candy to purchase masks and rewards from Eva Levante. There's going to be 5 available masks this year: an Acolyte, a Goblin, Mithrax, Callus, and the Drifter. Using the Masquerader's helmet, aka the Cryptarch mask, you can equip the following Festival of the Lost mods. The Higher Purpose mod, which gives significant damage resistance while airborne, it significantly increases damage to all enemies, and it increases the drop chance of heavy ammo on a kill. The Vampiric Touch mod, which significantly increases damage to challenging enemies, where precision kills trigger health regeneration, and increases the drop chance of heavy ammo on a kill. And the Energetic Assassin mod, where precision kills grant grenade and melee energy, it significantly increases damage to terrors, and it increases the drop chance of heavy ammo on a kill. There will also be a new legendary weapon to grind for this event. It's a revamped Braytech Winterwolf auto rifle that can be purchased with candies similar to last year's origin story. This one is going to drop fully masterworked at 950 power regardless of your current level, so it's going to be a nice boost to anyone out there still working their way up to 950. And once you get the gun, you can grind for random rolls on it, which is very nice. As you can see by the pictures on screen, there's a handful of new Eververse items, all of which will be available for Bright Dust at some point during the event. That was confirmed by community manager Cosmo. However, some of the older items from last year's event will be silver only. Alright, all the new content is out of the way. Let's change gears and take a look at some of the big changes and fixes landing tomorrow. Bottom Tree Striker is getting its long-awaited nerf. Instead of going over every single detail, I'm just going to show it on screen and talk about the highlights. The most drastic changes being that it's going to cost a lot more super energy to light attack across the map. You get less super energy per kill with diminishing returns, and you no longer get health regeneration on super kills. Bottom Tree Dawnblade also now gets slightly less super energy per kill. Ward of Dawn's timer now correlates directly with the health of Ward of Dawn, along with some better visual cues. And Middle Tree Night Stalker's Shattering Strike ability has now been fixed, lasting the full 9 seconds. Along with this, Bungie has removed the bug that allowed players to fire their shotgun immediately before shoulder charging, which resulted in that completely busted 1-2 punch Peregrine Greaves combo. It was fun while it lasted, but it looks like the 1-2 punch combo will once again remain strongest on a hunter. Bungie also mentioned there's changes coming to One-Eyed Mask very soon. Honestly, One-Eyed Mask doesn't even seem like that much of a threat these days when compared to that Arc Battery and Wormhusk build for hunters. That one is just insane in the Crucible. Continuing on with changes that are going live this Tuesday, Forsaken Supers will now have their own unique icons in the Crucible. Warlocks will now be rewarded Warlock gear instead of Titan gear when wagering a weak moat in the Reckoning Bank. Alright. They fixed a bug that increased loading times while previewing gear in spaceflight. They increased the amount of phantasmal cores you could have in your inventory from 3 to 999. I would love to see the same happen for enhancement prisms and descendant shards because those are just overflowing into my postmaster right now and you can't put them in the vault for some reason. On top of the previously listed changes, armor mods are now going to be visible in your collections, allowing you to browse through all the possibilities and see which ones you have already collected. Starting next season, the armor mod collections will get a UI upgrade, allowing them to display armor energy type and cost on the icon through the collections just like they do in your armor socket. Also starting next season, the restrictions on having multiple mods of the same type in a single piece of armor will be removed, with a few exceptions. So you'll be able to run 2 hand cannon loader mods and 2 shotgun ammo finder mods, and so forth. There's even more changes included in tomorrow's update. Here's some of the highlights provided to us. They resolved an issue that prevented some players from unlocking the Black Armory Forges and completing the mysterious box quest for Izanagi's Burden. They resolved an issue that prevented players from abandoning the mysterious box quest for Izanagi's Burden on alternate characters. It will be retrievable from A to 1 if abandoned. They resolved an issue where the Exodus Black Destination quest could not be recovered if abandoned. It's going to be retrievable from failsafe. They resolved an issue which prevented some players from earning the Silimar's Design Triumph. This triumph will unlock retroactively for eligible players. They also resolved an issue causing daily bounties from Erismorn and the Lector of Enchantment to rotate weekly. So great news for anyone who's been trying to get the Izanagi's Burden quest done. And one additional change coming tomorrow that I forgot to mention is that extra customization options for subtitles, including background style, opacity, color, and size, will now be accessible in the options menu. Last thing I wanted to cover today is some extra details from the last Bungie update and answering some questions I've seen thrown around in the comments recently about the seal and some of the triumphs. First of all, the Season of the Undying seal must be completed before Season 8 ends, which I believe is on the 10th of December. This means that once Season 9 begins, you're no longer going to be able to get this title. Now, they didn't bring up the ritual weapons and whether or not those are going to be disappearing. They just stressed that if you don't finish them by the end of the season, you will not be able to get the title after the season ends. The ritual weapons could go away. I don't think they will, but they are doing a lot of seasonal stuff now, so don't procrastinate if you want them or if you're trying to get the title just in case. You can get like 10 scout rifle kills a day and still finish Randy's by the end of the season, so there is still plenty of time to finish those quests and triumphs. Undying is by far the easiest title to get right now, and there is zero RNG involved in the seal or collections badge, and most of the triumphs are very straightforward, except for one that I wanted to talk about. Some of you might be really confused as to what's up with the Lunar Fashion Triumph that says to wear seasonal armor and complete public events on the moon. This triumph is worded correctly, but the actual objective is completely wrong. In order to actually get progress towards this triumph, you have to wear a full set of Dreambane armor, the armor set from the moon. This isn't too big of an issue for those of you who purchased Shadowkeep, but if you just bought the Season 8 pass alone, you're not going to be able to get this triumph until it's fixed, since Season Pass owners don't have access to the Shadowkeep moon set. So the triumph is supposed to be completed with the Vex armor set, just like it says, but right now you can only complete it with the Dreambane set. I've already seen this issue being brought up to Bungie on the forums and on Reddit, so it's only a matter of time before they get a fix on this, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I've been asked about this in the comments a few times and I wanted to clear up what's going on. Bungie community managers also addressed a ton of feedback over the last week, everything from acknowledging that Xur keeps selling the collection rolls for exotics, the bugged Armor 1.0 stats, a Thunder Crash buff, drop rates for the Season Pass weapons, and even faction rally gear as ornaments. And if you'd like to see anything else that's been addressed, it can be found through the links in the description to Destiny Roundup. There's a ton of feedback being passed along recently, so chances are there will be some big updates to some of this stuff in the near future. That's all the news for Destiny 2 in October. I hope you're all enjoying the game as much as I am right now, and I cannot wait to get back to work on some more videos for this busy week. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a fantastic rest of your day.